dreams just random images fired from an unconscious brain during sleep? Or something much more important, like life-saving inner guidance? How dreams can be healing and early warning tools for disease, financial crisis, or success. And love is still one of the behavioral science's greatest unanswered questions. Hello, I'm your host, author Kat O'Keefe Kanavos. Welcome to Dreaming Healing, where dreams and cutting-edge scientific research meet on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network. Dreaming Healing is every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, with live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, when you can call in and ask Kat questions about your amazing dreams. Talk on air. Call toll-free, 833-220-1200. That's 833-220-1200. Come live your dreams out loud with Kat.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. This show is live video. So if you're only listening and you want to watch, go to my website, The Queen of Dreams, or www.KathleenO'KeefeKanavos, and click the box in the upper right-hand corner that says Dream Vision 7. It'll take you to my Dream Vision 7 website, and then you can scroll down a little ways and click on the YouTube TV link. And if you want to call in, the number is on that page. Now, last week or 2 weeks ago, the first Tuesday of this month, the show was titled All Three Books, and it was show number 2. And we had Reverend Ariel, a co-author with me and publisher of Mayhem to Miracles. We had Deborah Bouvet, owner of Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, who spoke of the miracle of leaving an abusive relationship because of the love she held for her daughter. And by doing that, the circle was broken. And we had Teresa Velarde, who glimpsed heaven through the eyes of her dying mother. What a party and a miracle that was. So tonight, we're going to be talking about dreams again. And again, we're going to be talking about dreams in the Mayhem to Miracle book launch. And this is show number 6. Do miracles still happen? Are they real, or are they just our wishful imagination? Tonight, we speak with 3 amazing Mayhem to Miracle sacred stories of transformational hope authors who have miracles in common. How did James Redfield of the Celestine Prophecy and Reverend Dr. Temple Hayes of First Unity Spiritual Campus in St. Petersburg, Florida, and Sister Dr. Jenna, host of the America Meditating Radio Show, discover their miracles buried beneath their mayhem? So grab your box of tissues and join us as we cry and cringe and laugh our way through the real life stories of our guests' miracles. But first, that's right, let's start the show with our favorite protection and clearing meditation. So if you're new to this and you're driving right now, don't close your eyes, okay? It's still gonna work. Just listen. We've got you covered. Those of you who are new also, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take in 3 really deep breaths. We're gonna hold them. And any negativity that you may have picked up during the week or during your life is gonna get caught in that breath of life. And we're going to blow it across the room into the purple flame of Saint Germain, where it's going to be converted into this gorgeous golden energy and returned to the universe. That way we are not littering with our energy. And then I want you to think of a power gift. Now, your power gift can be anything. It can be a gift somebody gave you. It can be some jewelry, favorite piece of jewelry, my mother's wedding ring. Anything that is a power gift to you, a stone, your favorite flower. And we're going to use that power gift to create a mirrored bubble around us that is only going to allow that which is the highest and best to come in, brought by our spirit guides. Okay, ready? I want you to settle into your chairs. Get nice and comfy. If you're driving, stay alert, but you can be settled in your chair. And close your eyes if you're not driving. And we're going to take our first really deep breath in. Deep breath in. Imagine any little negativities caught in that breath of life. Now blow it out across the room. Empty your lungs out, all the way out. Deep breath in. Imagine anything that you said to someone that might have been hurtful, or they said to you, a memory that might be holding you back, a negative thought caught up in that breath of life. Blow it out across the room. One more time. Deep breath in. Really fill your lungs up. Imagine any tiny little stubborn specks of negativity caught in that breath of life. Blow it out across the room into the purple flame of Saint Germain, where you see it converted into beautiful golden light and returned to the universe. Now hold your power gift in your hand. Imagine swinging it all around your body and creating this gorgeous mirrored bubble all around you. And only that which is of the highest and best can be brought into that bubble by your spirit guides and guardian angels. Anything else is reflected back from whence it came. We wish it so, and therefore it is. When you're ready, slowly open your eyes. Kind of feel yourself settling back into the now. Let me tell you a little bit about our guest tonight. Reverend Dr. Temple Hayes wrote the foreword to the book we're going to be talking about tonight, Mayhem to Miracles. And she's an ordained minister of Unity and Centers for Spiritual Living. She's also the spiritual leader and CEO of the First Unity Spiritual Campus, a new thought center in St. Petersburg, Florida, and a speaker. She's a radio host, practicing shamanic healer, and author of several books. Temple's background includes 3 years of military service in the United States Army Reserves and several years as a business owner. Much of Temple Hayes' teachings focus on spirituality and metaphysics. You can learn more about her at templehays.com. All of these bios are much longer on my website on Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. You can go there and read so much more about them. And all of their bios on that page are hot. So you can click them. If you want to check out what I'm talking about and go there, you can click those links during the breaks and learn more about them. James Redfield is the author of the Celestine Prophecy series of books. He's a writer, producer of the Celestine Prophecy movie, and co-founder of CelestineVision.com, and that's CelestineVision.com, where he is active with the CP, I think that's Celestine Prophecy, but we're going to ask him, the CP community and Celestine coaching. And then Sister Dr. Jenna is the director of the Brahma Kumaris meditation as an evolutionary leader, and was selected by Empower a Billion Women 2020 as one of the 100 most influential leaders of 2015. She is also a recipient of the President's Lifetime National Community Service Award and a trusted spiritual mentor committed to bridging divides in societies. And you can learn more about her at www.americanmeditating.com. And that's .org. AmericaMeditating.org. And again, you can learn more about her on my Dream Vision 7 radio website, and you can click all of those links to learn more about our guest tonight. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
So, James, how did it feel to be sandwiched between two such incredible women in the bios? I did that on purpose.
Good. Great to be here. I love talking about these books, and so we'll have a good time.
James, I'm so happy to be meeting you. Your book was such a profound read for me. Thank you for doing that.
Sister Jenna, James Redfield also was kind enough to write the foreword for our second Sacred Stories of Transformational book series, Crappy to Happy. And the title didn't even throw him off.
That's good.
I love all these books.
He wrote an incredible foreword. So in the book that we're going to be talking about tonight, Mayhem to Miracles, we're focusing on miracles in this book. And our Reverend Temple Hayes wrote the foreword to this book, From Never to Always. And after Temple Hayes gave up all hope of ever becoming a mother, her dreams, hope, and a miracle comes to fruition when she's blessed with a miracle daughter, and she becomes Mama Temple. So Temple, we're going to start with you.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Despite your hope, it seemed really evident that your path was not destined to have a child. And all three of you right now, every time I start talking about things that are miracles and spiritual, my phone suddenly starts repeating everything I'm saying and jumps in the conversation. And it's doing it right now. I could probably send this to myself in an email and write another book. So tell us about why you felt your path was one where you were never going to have a child. And did you want a child?
I would say that first of all, I used to say that they say that the child you have, that you go through some of the things that your parents put you through. And I went, I don't ever want to go through that. But the other part is that in the early stages of my life, when I realized I was gay, though they were still trying to identify what to call those words then, that wasn't really at the time possible, like it is today, nor encouraged. So there was that, as if there, needed to be other things. And with just the way the path was, I mean, I've always been a person that, what's on the path is what is. I'm not saying it's always easy, and I'm not saying sometimes I haven't tried to, push a river or float my, boat backwards. In my personality, but when I surrendered to the spirit of the fullness of my life, it was very evident that it wasn't destined to be. I was in a beautiful relationship for 5 years with a man, because I thought, well, if I'm going to spend my whole life saying I'm gay, I ought to know. I mean, I ought to at least be a little convincing, right? And we had a beautiful relationship, but he had older children, and he said that wouldn't be for me. So I just saw that that was not the unfoldment of my journey, though I have always loved kids. And so I just said, that's not my path. Birthing and children and those kind of things would show up for me as a goddess energy, as a tribal leader, as a nurturer, and so that's the way it was.
But you kept getting these messages that the baby was okay, the child was coming.
Yeah, yes. You have been listening. Yeah. As I was saying that on Sunday, when I would go on a spirit journey back in the days when I was in training with my shamanic teacher, I would often come back, and the elders and the archetypes and the guides had said to me, the baby is fine. And when I would come back and then, come back into the current, like the now awareness, I'd almost get tickled. I said, they keep telling me this baby's fine, and then I would intellectualize it and say, oh, they must mean a vision or, something like that. So do you want me to continue on, or?
No, that's good. And a new project, because then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about that.
You bet. Yeah.
So James, in part 4, Life Journey and Identity, the long and winding road, your story title is We Are All Chosen. And in that story, you share your incredible journey for the conception and the birth of the worldwide bestseller and award-winning book, The Celestine Prophecy, and many of the lessons you learned along the way. What I found so interesting, James, was your honesty. I mean, here you write in this chapter that you got thrown out of college and you got thrown out of church too. Tell us a little bit about this.
Well, you know, it's again, it was a pleasure to write that. I had, as I explained in the story, you know, I had resisted making the message of the Celestine Prophecy in any way about me, because it was doing a great job carrying this energy across the world. It was immediately a bestseller everywhere, across different cultures, across different alphabets, you know, that all had to be translated in local languages. But it still was something that people passed along. So it was the message of the book was primed for me for a long, long time. And but I really love the idea, the chance to just tell people how it happened, and I won't go through all of it now, but there was a journey there that the story talks about. I certainly got thrown out of college because I couldn't, people just got so frustrated with me because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And so I was changing subjects, changing majors. So finally, they gently said, well, maybe you ought to go find yourself, you know. And that started the long road of being very, very interested in what we knew about spiritual psychology. You know, I was very interested in psychology. I was in that program, but when people talked about spiritual psychology, there was not a lot available because everything was so religious back then and compartmentalized. But what happened is that I really felt a real connection that I was supposed to write this book about spiritual psychology, and that not being complicated with that, but to show that we open up spiritually in stages, and especially now, because I'm one of the people that in the current environment, I'm saying that consciousness is going up. We may feel clamped down or everything's changed too quickly, but it's the opportunity to center in yourself and follow your own guidance. And that alone is opening up all this consciousness. So the message of my story is that you may have a project, you do the project, you may not know what to do with that project, you may not know how to get it out there. That was certainly the case with the Celestine Prophecy. I was very, very project oriented, and synchronicity just led the way with that project. And the message of the book is that we're here to do something that our souls want to do. It's something special. It doesn't have to be something that's loud and everybody hears about. It's just something to do that, maybe quietly among in some organization or quietly in some way we touch our neighbors and our children, and but it's a message we all have.
I love it. Yeah, and synchronicities. I always say synchronicities are God winks for those who are believers, and for those who are non-believers, it's a tap on the shoulder that God really does exist. So we've got a couple of minutes before we go to our first break, but I want to get Sister Jenna in here because her story is just so profound. So if I have to interrupt you, Sister Jenna, please forgive me, and we'll pick right back up after the break with what you were saying. Okay.
No problem.
So Sister Jenna, your your story is in part 4 also, life journey and identity, the long and winding road. It's amazing you and James are in the same part of the book. And your story is from disco queen to divine angel. And you talk about how when you would walk into a disco, everything was right for you, and in terms of wealth, and whenever you would enter your nightclubs, people were waiting to see what dress you wore. You were the queen.
I loved it.
And
I
you were
loved
running
it.
the clubs.
I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah.
Your focus was on business, and look
Hey,
at
and
you
nothing.
now.
Hey, listen. Nothing's wrong with that. I still love it.
Love it.
But
Oh my goodness.
it
Yeah.
just had enough of me. But yeah, so when you're in your 20s, you're really getting shaped. Things are just growing in you. And what's wrong with dressing in the name brand clothes and driving fancy cars, and then owning 2 of the top nightclubs in South Beach, Miami? What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
You're young, you're energetic, you're experimentative, you want everything. And that was a beautiful period for me. It was just wonderful to be so independent, so driven, so focused, so happy. And then the call came. And before I knew it, that was done for me.
And tell us a little bit, we've got like 1 minute. Tell us a little bit about this call. How did it come? Where did it come from? Did the phone ring and say, "Hi, this is God"?
And it was collect. Yeah. And it was collect. And I had to accept the charges. And I did. It's this gentle intervention that breaks your cycle, your pattern of thinking, the way that you've always known yourself. And it comes with a light. And with the light, it carries an element of a wisdom that is opening up another door for you. And it gently basically invites you to surrender to what you've known. And it waits for you to take the step into that new door. And that's what I did when that gentle light accessed my consciousness. And I said, okay, let's just go and see what this is all about. And that was it.
That's brave. Don't go away, everybody. We've got to take a break. You're listening to Dreaming Healing on Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. And I'm your host, Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos, but my friends all call me Kat, so I hope you will too. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Can diagnose your life? What if we can meet the love of our life in dreams? Join host Kat O'Keefe Kanavos, the #1 internationally best-selling author of Dreams That Can Save Your Life, written with Duke University medical doctor Larry Burke. Dreaming Healing is where we'll explore dreams, research, and interpret dreams from you, the caller. Dreaming Healing shows can be heard every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, with live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Time on syndicated Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. Come live your dreams out loud with Kat.
Omega Institute, offering workshops, retreats, and online learning dedicated to awakening the best in the human spirit. For over 40 years, Omega has seen more than 1 million people come through its doors to grow, learn, and find a greater sense of purpose. With over 350 workshops to choose from, Omega offers something for everyone. Located in Rhinebeck, New York, just 90 miles north of New York City, Omega's natural environment and quiet pace allow for extraordinary experiences to unfold. Learn more at eomega.org or call 877-944-2002. Again, 877-944-2002.
Have you met your physician within yet? The Nautilus and multi-award winning book, Surviving Cancerland, Intuitive Aspects of Healing, is a memoir that takes you down the rabbit hole of healing dreams and interpretations, mixed with conventional medicine and treatments. Listen to the hookah-puffing caterpillar ask, "Who are you?" Dr. Bernie Siegel says Kathleen's story is powerful, honest, and eye-opening. Surviving Cancerland, Intuitive Aspects of Healing by 3-time breast cancer survivor Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos. Buy the book and audio at KathleenO'KeefeKanavos.com and worldwide through Amazon and other retailers.
Ever had a strange dream? Nautilus Award winner, Dreams That Can Save Your Life, Early Warning Signs of Cancer and Other Diseases by Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos and Duke University radiologist Dr. Larry Burke, forward by Dr. Bernie Siegel, shares how people like you self-advocated in the face of adversity and won using dreams. Read life-saving dream stories validated by medical reports. Hear how dreams of dead loved ones saved lives. Use interpretations and journaling as roadmaps in your waking world for health, wealth, and love. Dreams That Can Save Your Life. Early Warning Signs of Cancer and Other Diseases. Buy the audio and book at KathleenO'KeefeKanavos.com in English and Italian worldwide and through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other retailers.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
Welcome back to Dreaming Healing. I'm your host, Kat Kanavos, and our guests tonight are James Redfield, Temple Hayes, and Sister Jenna. And we're talking about moving from mayhem into miracles. Are miracles real? Do they still happen, or are they just something we read about in the Bible? Well, our 3 guests tonight actually experienced mayhem to miracles. So we're going to rely on them to tell us their insights. Just before the break, Sister Dr. Jenna was telling us about her disco days, which, I loved my disco days. They were really cool. And so now what I'd like to do is move into the miracles. Although the most of the mayhem that our authors were talking about earlier was the shift, moving from either something they were doing, like being in college, like James was, or a disco queen like Sister Jenna, or Temple is hearing that she's going to have a child, would like a child, but she's thinking perhaps the child that everybody's telling her about is a new event or a new project. We often dream about children when we're going to do a new project. That's our new baby. And so now let's find out what happened with these miracles. So let's start with you, Temple. I see that yes.
You also know that I think my dogs are Leos and they really like to be on TV too. So.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
I'm like,
that's okay.
It's like, okay, we welcome you. Show. We welcome you into our consciousness. Miracle, first and foremost, is one of my favorite words. Even in the years of, heavy drinking and all the other things, I love the word miracle. And I've always loved the statement, a miracle is what happens when you wake up one day and you're there and you don't recall all the necessary steps that it took to get you there. And so the word miracle, I might have it around my house. It might be in my office. I mean, I really get it. I mean, it's not just to me, even related to religiosity or anything else. It's just a powerful word. And looking for the miracles, it could just be a smile. It doesn't have to necessarily be walking through the desert or, relocating across the United States going, what? So, that being said, I was at the spiritual community, and when I walked out in the lobby about soon be 4 years ago, there was a little girl with little black patent leather shoes, long hair, cutest little thing. I was kind of spellbound, and I said to the woman in the lobby, I said, "Who is that bundle of a miracle?" It just came out like that. She said, "That's her name." And so she just really, captured my attention. So week after week, they would come, and it was just, it's just a beautiful story, because when she could language, for the longest time, she called me Purple, which was, fine. I'll be happy to be Purple Flame with Saint Germain. But then when she could language and people would visit and be talking to me, she would run up and get in the middle of us and go, "My purple temple, my temple, my temple." And it really was like this ancient thing, like I belong to her, like, okay. And I just kind of went with it with grace, and realizing that it was some kind of deeper incarnation, type of thing. Oddly enough, she actually, I talked to an astrologer one time. I do something like that every, 20 years. So I talked to an astrologer, and she said, "Miracle was born on the day that in your chart you were to have a child." And so it's been a constant, reminder, connection in that space. And it's been such a blessing for me. Bruce Lipton says that so much of your coding or programming or, whatever is the word, happens between 0 and 6 years old. And that really stuck with me. And I thought, well, I've been like a lifelong person in therapy. And so maybe there's something within that 0 to 6, and not necessarily consciously. Because as we know, being around these great scholars here, if it were conscious, it would either be there or not be there, and you would make a decision about that. But there's definitely something that has shifted with my love for Miracle and her being in my life, and me being mindful that she would not have some of the programming that I had in those years. And I'll just finish out by saying that one of the things I was taught as a Southern girl, whether I'd ask for my tea wrong or my glass of milk when we thought it helped your bones or anything like that, is that I was taught to say, "Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." We definitely do that a lot with little girls. And it's very interesting how as adults, you can be passing someone in the hall, a hall that belongs to anybody, and somebody will say, "Oh, I'm sorry." And I like, "What are you sorry for?" So I learned in my language to say, "I apologize," to not do the throat chakra, the "I am sorry." It's very passive, blah, blah. And so I've taught Miracle that. And so, when she wasn't even 4 with her little teeth, she would go, "I apologize." So when she goes to her teacher in kindergarten, she says, Mrs. House, my name's Miracle. That's my Mama Temple. I don't say I am sorry. I say, I apologize. So it's been a blessing, a miracle, a true miracle that in my early 60s and now moving along, that I am a mom and actually a guardian, legal guardian to this little girl.
Mm-hmm. A miracle in the flesh. I
Miracle in the
love
flesh.
it. So, Sister Jenna, what happened with your miracle? I'm kind of going, well, that, having all those discotheques in Miami Beach, because I know Miami Beach well. Having all those discotheques are kind of a miracle right there. So tell us what your miracle was, if that wasn't it.
Firstly, Temple, I'm so touched by that story. I'm so touched by that story.
No,
It just goes to show that, a woman doesn't have to declare herself a mother by giving birth the old way. It's in so many forms, but it's definitely expressed with love. Miracles. And I always feel like a miracle happens when there's a meeting of knowledge and silence.
A
Head
meeting
and
of
heart.
knowledge and what? Can you repeat that again?
Knowledge, when knowledge meets silence,
Oh.
there's a miracle. There's a miracle that occurs. There's just something energetic that's in that, where our consciousness isn't too far in our past and it's not trying to go too far ahead into the future. It's just that little window, that little, and all of a sudden that one thought, that one feeling, that vision, that idea just manifests everything in an instant. And you think about when you encounter miracles in your life, you're supposed to live every day as a miracle, but something gets in the way. I'm either stuck to some memory of my past life, or even past birth of current time, or maybe I'm looking at somebody else's life or something else and thinking that it's greener on the other side. And then I miss so many chances for miracles. But I feel that what was happening to me in my 20s, I loved solitude, but I also loved noise, and I loved music, and I loved people, and I loved wisdom. But I also loved moments where I would just sit and with popcorn or chocolate chip cookies and just turn on TMC and watch black and white movies, or I Love Lucy. Remember Andy Griffith? Remember that one?
I love Andy Griffith. Yeah.
And just silly things. And it was like where I could find the balance. So I felt that as much as I was going through the norm to fulfill something that was just, trained in you, make a living, earn something, be something. I think the miracle was that the knowledge and the silence was able to take me into a different place of becoming. So when that whole shift occurred, I was really at the prime, and it was good that I was surrounded by a lot of female yogis who sent such a powerful signal of what it's like to live a life of surrendering to older imagings and toys. And I just knew that if I was courageous enough or sensible enough to let go of all the things I was familiar with, it'll be just a whole new world for me. And I did that. And I haven't regretted it since. And I just knew that.
Great. I love that. That's just beautiful. Finding that silence. I mean, we are so bombarded with noise now. Sometimes it can be very difficult to find that silence. One of the things that I love to do is just go down and sit next to my koi pond and just feel that energy and that silence just surround me. And it's like being in a bubble of love. It's the best way to describe it. So thank you for sharing that with us, Sister Jenna.
I just want to say one thing. About 15 years ago, I was interpreting what silence was. And silence by the koi pond, nature by the beach in a quiet room. Beautiful. But then I realized that silence was when I was at a state of mind that I just wasn't engaged in any more wasteful or negative thinking. And then my silence came. And then I was like, I got it. I need this silence inside of me.
It's beautiful. So James, let's talk about your miracle. You say that when you practice giving consciously, our lives begin to move forward faster. Everything amplifies. Was that part of the miracle that you discovered?
Absolutely. At the time I was struggling to find out, I knew I wanted to write something. And the core of it was a kind of spiritual psychology. And it began to evolve so that what happened was that the miracle of it was really the experience that I had with synchronicity. It's I believe, as Carl Jung, who coined the term, believed that it's a principle in life. So big miracles, are there too, and healing miracles, and love and children miracles. Those are really big. But I believe that what we're doing right now, and what I did, and tried to get into the book, was to get in touch with the tiny miracles, and that means an everyday kind of opening up of the world for us to be creative. And of course, as I tried to describe this in the Celestine Prophecy, it works with our intuitive guidance. It's almost like we have this intuitive guidance that urges us to do something. Stop to talk with a stranger, call an old friend. All the things that come to us as acts that urge us on. And so there's a kind of our part, and it's a guidance that comes in, and if we act on that, we put ourselves into a place where some question that we need to answer is brought to light in a synchronicity, where someone gives us a gift of something about their lives they describe, and we say as so many times we hear other people say, like, I needed to hear that right this moment. This answers a problem for me. This is a solution that's a miracle coming to me. So life is designed, in my view, to be like that. And I think as consciousness goes up and our understanding of it all goes up, there's a great coalescence that's happening in the world, and we call it a consciousness unfolding, and there's a great contrast between consciousness and controlling and reactivity that we see in the world today. And so it's thrown into relief, this flow of synchronicity we can have in our lives, where a calling is building for us to do something. And I think one of the things that humanity is learning right now is that we do live in a world that's has a karmic structure, and I think it's about giving. What makes us feel the best is to give, and what opens up the world for us is a habit of giving, and what we want to give people is a synchronicity, right? We want to hear that. Oh, I needed to hear that just at this moment in my life. We want to hear that, and if we tune in and try to give as much as we take, give a synchronicity more than just looking for one for ourselves. And the way that happens is to just tune in and say, how can I help this person? How can I make a difference in this person's life in an ordinary conversation? And what you'll get is that idea, something you did with your life, some solution you had for a problem. It could be anything, but it will come up. And if you work it into the conversation, you'll hear what we want to hear. And that's, it touched me. That made a difference in my life. Thank you very much for saying that to me and giving me this synchronicity. So what happens is I believe it works, and anybody can prove it to themselves. Which is what I really like to talk about now, and that is, if we give.
Can you hold on to that, James, and we'll come right back to you right after the commercial to talk about that, because I don't want to break your train of thought then.
Okay.
You are listening to Dreaming Healing on Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. We have to take another quick break, and when we come back, we're going to pick right back up with James. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
word you speak matters. What you say and how you say it can make or break a relationship or shift the outcome of any situation. Are your conversations making a difference? Faith in God, gratitude, authenticity, and giving are Teresa Velarde's heart. It's in this spirit that she's focused on making a difference in the lives she's blessed to touch. Conversations That Make a Difference is now on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network every Tuesday at 5 a.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern Time, with live call-in shows every first and third Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern.
Darkest hours to brightest moments, transformation from despair to happiness, and chaos to clarity. Real people, real pain, real healing. Life-threatening illness, death, abusive relationships, divorce, and overcoming addiction are challenges these men and women faced head-on. See how they emerged stronger and happier. Buy the new book, Chaos to Clarity, Sacred Stories of Transformational Change by Reverend Patricia Caginello and Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos. Available on sacredstoriespublishing.com and worldwide through Amazon and other retailers.
Are miracles real? Can you move from mayhem to miracles? 30 prominent authors say yes as they share their high fives and down lows of challenges, abuse, addiction, and love. Experience hope, the magic elixir of miracles, through the personal stories of New York Times bestselling authors James Redfield, Dr. Bernie Siegel, Sister Jenna, Reverend Temple Hayes, and many more. If you like bestsellers, Chaos to Clarity, and Crappy to Happy, you'll love crying and laughing through Mayhem to Miracles. Sacred Stories of Transformational Hope. Available now on Amazon and in bookstores worldwide.
Why are we here? How can we be happy? Questions asked from millennials to boomers. Crappy to Happy. Sacred Stories of Transformational Joy answers them using true stories of grit, grace, and love. James Redfield, author of the Celestine Prophecy, wrote in the foreword, "This book is a seminar about emerging truths and offers grounded solutions through the art of the comeback." Dr. Bernie Siegel, a contributing author, wrote, "Bodies die, but spirits and consciousness survive and recycle." So, grab some tissues, open your book, and prepare to cry and laugh till it heals. Crappy to Happy by Reverend Ariel Patricia and Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos. Available from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and booksellers worldwide.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
Welcome back, everyone, to the last section of our show. This hour has just flown by because our guests are so profound tonight. And they are three authors who are in Mayhem to Miracles, Sacred Stories of Transformational Hope. You can read their full stories in the book, which is available on Amazon. Just go to Amazon and type in Mayhem to Miracles. True stories of courage, triumph, and peace. The foreword is written by Reverend Dr. Temple Hayes, who's one of our guests tonight. And just before we went to break, we were talking with James Redfield about synchronicities and giving. And it just suddenly dawned on me, everything we've been talking about tonight is a little bit about quantum entanglement, where everything that we do, everything that we say, everything that we feel has an effect on not just the people around us, but the people all over the world. So, James, do you want to pick back up with your synchronicities and giving that you were talking about just before our break?
Yeah, well, I think that, the basic understanding I believe that's coming into consciousness now is that, when you give, you draw more givers into your life.
Mm-hmm.
When you practice it, that's a structure. And when we have people showing up in our lives more and more offering us synchronicities, and our creative lives just go faster. And there are a lot of out there right now. There are a lot of roadblocks that people are experiencing, and it's very important to know that we have guidance. And when I talk about synchronicity, these mysterious coincidences, I talk about them now as the help we get. In other words, we're not abandoned in this world. We get help, and the more we help, the more helping occurs in the world, and that's the path forward. That's a spiritual calling. It leads to fulfillment. It leads to everything, and it's a real breakthrough time, I believe.
I agree. It's a little bit, Temple Hayes, it's a little bit about law of attraction, which we've been working on with Spirit Expressing these past 7 weeks. You attract what you give, and it makes so much sense with what James was saying. What would you like to tell our audience tonight in this last section as a takeaway for them?
Well, with talking about miracles and the conversations we've been having, a lot of people will say, I'm waiting on my dreams to come true. And when we do that, we're putting in consciousness some kind of on down the road in, as we say, God's waiting room, where everything is always moving, like James is saying, and there's some kind of underneath entanglement going on. But my statement that I changed a number of years ago would be, my dreams are waiting on me to come true. And so in that space, it's what part of me am I calling forth? And so when a miracle, like this little girl shows up, it's at the right time. It was at the right time of later in my 50 years, because I was in a different space and had come true to a whole different way of stability and groundedness and, those kind of things. So that's what I would say, that it's always the right time, that it's more than just a bumper sticker, that everything is in divine order, but indeed it really is in the spirit realm of things. And just to keep the personality calm, like Sister Dr. Jenna was saying, silence is so much more than the absence of noise. It's depth. It's depth. I mean, look at her. She's like a sanctuary by herself.
Yes, she is what
I'll
she
pay you.
I know you owe me.
I'll pay you later. I'll pay you later.
You owe me.
I'll pay you later.
Okay, Sister Dr. Jenna, take it away.
Yes, Kat. What would you like me to say? Everyone has said so much. Anyway, we're at such a beautiful time in our journey. There is this incredible opening and awakening, not just for people like us that's been on the journey of consciousness, so to speak, but even for some of my brothers and sisters who had no idea that there is something called an awakening, or that there's a different way of seeing themselves and seeing the future. And I think for me, here I am 3 decades later, from disco queen to naughty angel, right? Be open and be curious, and never feel that you've got it all or you know it all. I feel that you can learn from everything and everyone. And I feel personally for myself that there is a deep level of surrender that is occurring for many of us. And my definition of surrender is believe that you have the courage to just let go of old patterns. And something will open up for you. That's where the miracle really starts. And so I think there are miracles everywhere happening, and it's knocking on your door. The question is, will you open? Will you open? Sure, why not? So wishing everybody so many miracles and just an interest in life. Just be interested. Be interested in your moments and the small ones, the big ones. Be interested. It's just a fascinating time.
It is a fascinating time. And I know it's been a difficult time for many people. COVID has changed our lives, but it's given us that quiet time that Sister Dr. Jenna was talking about. And I know that during this time, my dreams really started kicking in. My dreams, that guidance, when I would get real wound up because I couldn't get out and do the things I like to do, like go to dinner, my dreams would kick in. And a lot of times I would go out to dinner in my dreams. So, our dreams are amazing. They can really help us. So I want to thank all three of you, Sister Dr. Jenna, James Redfield, Reverend Temple Hayes, for being on the show with us tonight. It's been such a treat, such a pleasure.
Thank you for having us, Kat.
So yes, miracles really are real. In the book, Mayhem to Miracles, Stories of Transformational Hope proves it. Hope is that shining beacon that can change the course of lives, the future, love, and our lives. Miracles go hand in hand with hope. Experience modern day miracles as these 30 inspiring individuals in this book and the three authors we spoke with tonight take you through their mayhem of physical challenges, abusive relationships, addictions, lost and found love, and much more into the realm of miracles. So until next time, remember, everybody dreams, but some dreams save lives. Embrace your dreams. Good night, everybody.
Thank you for joining us this evening, and a big thanks to our producer. Tune in next time to Dreaming Healing for more cutting-edge research, live dream interpretations, and stories with radio host and award-winning author Kat O'Keefe Kanavos. Listen every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern Time with call-in live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Time on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network. Remember, everyone dreams, but some dreams save lives. Live your dreams. Find more about Kat at KathleenO'KeefeKanavos.com. That's Kathleen with a K. OKEEFEKANAVOS. Or The Queen of Dreams on Google search.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax,